toughest opponent here in M6. It's gonna be Twisted Minds versus NIP Flash.
Welcome to the land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. We started this as a best of 3, and it seems the best of 1 just always comes back, you know? Always comes back to hunt both of these teams. Cortese's got to be careful here on the Juicin. Yep, you can afford to actually take these trades early on the Juicin, especially if you go Brave Smite. But still, you got to put a lot of respect onto Cuffin and this Lo Yi. We saw how effective Cuffin was at just getting really good diversions to place the Roamer Troll into very select places, but also on top of that, Cuffin's just been great on getting the yin-yang reactions, and that's why we see him go for Lethal Ignition. I think, again, there's a lot of different emblems for mages to go for Lo Yi. Some go for Impure Rage, but this is, I think, the comfort for Cuffin, dealing more damage.
Yeah, and that's why we see Cuffin going for that penetration emblem as well. I think it's precisely because of this priority to damage and causing pressure in the mid lane that NIP Flash wants to ensure they're able to get mid lane priority, right? We are seeing a lot of mobility emblems being picked up on JPL, on Cortese, even a little bit on Diablo, because the more they can rotate, the more effectively they can play around a mid duo of Jawhead and Zusin, right? That is a lot of displacement that they can use to really mess with Twisted Minds. And based on what we've seen throughout this series, Twisted Minds is a team that likes to play a typical formation.
Ejector Flicker, Hades, Spear of Alpha Hoda, unable to go for the blink. Diablo gets the kill. Just stabs him with the spear or whatever the Hylos holds. NIP Flash, first blood, Turtle Prio.
A great information there gained by JPL, knowing that Hoda would be in that brush, and taking out the enemy jungler for the first turtle is excellent.
Troll knocked up at the ejector. The Glorious Pathway will lock him down. Troll should be dead again. It's the second kill in this game for Diablo on the horse.
If you personally ask me, a Zeus and Jawhead duo is one of Twisted Minds' worst nightmares. This is a lineup that wants that front to back, loves the 5-to-5 man-to-man team fight, and is very good at holding their position and counter-engaging. But if the opponent just throws one of your teammates to another country, it's very difficult for you to be able to respond, right? Visas take a lot of time. So because of that, NIP Flash are able to accelerate the engagement. They're going the opposite of what happened in Game 2.
Troll again caught. That's an ejector. This time it was with a unstoppable force. Great reads on the map by JPL. Man, Troll can't do anything. Every single time he gets tossed up, he gets tossed up to Hades, the guy who can actually shred him down.
We know that Gator Kacha is typically able to tank a lot of DPS in the early stages, especially with Revitalize, but that usually depends on him being able to create the engagements in the first place. And JPL is not giving him that space. Every single time he walks into a brush, he's now worried, is Jawhead there?
Hey, this is a horse with 2 kills. Oh, re-engage Glorious Pathway. Hoda trying to go with the ultimate to dash away, but man, you don't go for the horse, not now. Diablo's the one that's unkillable in this game.
Very strange decision by Twisted Minds. There is no way that duo of heroes can take down a Hylos in the first place, let alone even try to bait out the Revitalize. And you don't know where their backup is going to be. Troll is not able to open up the map. So you never know where Hades could be hiding either. There is no reason for Twisted Minds to be trying to force engagements right now. And that's actually kind of bad for them, because the more map pressure they give away to NIP Flash, the easier it's going to be for their opponents to actually accelerate the mid game and not allow Sano to pick up the stacks he needs on this Granger.
And, oh, JPL, I think he spots that out. He knows there's a diversion coming in, but they just don't know where. Oh, Vanix gets caught! Diversion from the back. Troll gets the kill. Vanix is down. Prio perhaps swifting, changing. Sanji bring it out. AOG to be cast up by the Spear of Alpha. Now to be caught in the midst of it all. It's still going to be Troll probably revitalized, and Hades will be caught in it all. Still able to get in and slashing it down. JPL will fall. Hades caught in the Death Sonata. Sano gets a shot from downtown. That's a 2-for-1 special. Twisted Minds finally getting something on the board.
Yeah, Twisted Minds still a very, very good team at these straight-up 5-to-5s. I think Cuffin in a bit of trouble here. Doesn't have mana left. Gonna be picked up a second time. And Cortese finding a little bit of revenge in the mid lane. But that previous engagement, I think NIP Flash needed to back it off once they had lost Vanix. I don't know if there was a lack of communication, because like you mentioned, Mirko, right? JPL should have seen the diversion. There was no reason for Vanix to rotate so aggressively there without his team opening up the map for him first. And then after that, once they lost their element of surprise, this composition is a little less effective at breaking through Troll and Sanji.
Yeah, I wonder if that was actually, if JPL actually saw that, right? Because it might actually have been literally in the edge of the vision pocket. Maybe it was still out of vision. Because yeah, it was definitely weird that Vanix, if they knew, the Vanix walked up like that. But let's leave it at that. I think NIP Flash might not have gotten that information. Maybe JPL was just not close enough. Sano, though, very aggressive atomization, Sky Piercer. And a bit of a trivia right here for people out there, you know. If you guys are curious why and how JPL has been able to get these pickoffs and the instant executes over to whoever gets ejected is because of the extra physical defense shred that you get now. Hades forces Spear of Alpha defensively, gets stunned out again. That's Sonata and the Rhapsody. Sano, that's the first stack of the Sky Piercer right as he buys it. JPL with the conceal gets cancelled out. That might have been the second stack, but it's given over to Hoda, who needs a bit more gold in the mid-game. And the lead that NIP Flash built from the early game is gone.
Yeah, NIP Flash needs to chill a little bit. They were doing an excellent job initially. Diversion comes out again. Looks like they're actually able to stop Coven and Hoda from going through as well. But NIP Flash, like you mentioned, has lost their entire early game advantage. They are trying to force fights deep in the enemy jungle, which is fine, but they have to remember that the reason they've been able to snowball so much is because JPL and Cortese have been picking people off. If you're pushing yourself into enemy territory without first separating their number, we see what happens, right? Twistedminds is very good at counter-engaging, especially when they're all rotating together. You gotta work with a little bit more information if you're gonna be playing that aggressively.
Sano, back to the mid lane. Goes in for the shove. Up top, it's a fight. Hades gonna be caught now. Look at Revitalize coming down from both though. SOD to the back, finding it, but now Hoda gets out just barely. Sky Piercer from Cortese to secure the double. Sanji versus 3 goes in front of pursuit over to Hades. That's a 3v1 that Sanji's currently actually doing well in. Sano kiting back Sanji. Lantern Flare on him, Cortese. Caught in the bad spot, still able to escape, and somehow Diablo was able to save Hades in that team fight. He was literally 1 HP, and now he gets the turtle.
Of the Revitalize, there is a reason why this battle spell has been gaining so much pressure in the current meta. The ability to save people at the very end and even catch people off guard, right? It's because that healing is something you wouldn't typically expect. Diversion play, just to split off the bot lane. But I think by now, even our viewers are starting to get a sense of the dynamics between not just these lineups, but these two teams specifically. Twistedminds wins the team fight if they're able to slow it down and play front to back with their full team around, while NIP Flash is going to win the fights if they're able to out-tempo their opponents and pick off 1 or 2 members before the full fight even begins. And in that previous situation, we saw Troll and Sanji maybe overcommit a little bit onto Hades. They would have gotten the kill if not for the Revitalize, so I don't blame them too much, but they do have to respect their opponent somewhat, right? Now that we are at this stage of the game, I honestly feel like the net worth lead NIP Flash has actually doesn't contribute all that much. It's actually still pretty even because we know how Granger can be once he actually has those stacks built up.
I agree, and that's exactly what Twistedminds are doing right now. They're just giving all the waves over to Sano, making sure he gets enough room and enough resources to scale up to be that late game threat. And we can see the items here. 6.9k ahead of Vanix despite being 1,000 gold behind NIP Flash. He already has a Sky Piercer. He actually opted to go for the Hunter Strike and the Malefic Roar. So this is why you don't see a lot of the crazy burst that you see from the poke that we usually see from other Grangers. He's still building up to it. Now he's building up all the penetration. So once he does get, you know, maybe a BOD, some of the big chunky damage items, he'll start to hurt real bad. And you can already see he's on the way to it. That's a Legion Sword built up for both Suyo and Sano.
Double BOD timing is going to be a huge window for Twistedminds because that is when you're going to start seeing heroes like the Jawhead and the Alpha fall off just slightly in terms of damage and pressure. The diversion for the flank, they will be scouted out here.
Good conceal. Hoda needs to time it perfectly, doesn't get the timing. Hoda chain CC, Spear of Alpha. That was perfectly done. Ejector to the stun of the Law and Order and the Spear of Alpha. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there from Twistedminds where we saw 2 members walk out and the rest wait for something to happen. But I think they made the right choice of just abandoning Hoda on the spot because I don't think that's a fight they're winning anymore.
Ejector again, Sanji gonna be caught, force a flicker out, Troll gonna be caught in the midst of it all as he pops in to Revitalize. The SOD connected to back, Vanix going in, Coffin will fall! Vanix with a flicker! And he gets a double! Only Hoda left standing. That could have been a wipeout, but he respawns just in time. NIP Flash get everything they wanted.
Flashes of timing, windows of opportunity, flashes of brilliance. Scattered team fights are the Singaporean representatives' specialty. And Twistedminds giving it over to them. A beautiful Spear of Destruction by Vanix to catch out the back line. Once the front had already been melted, there was no reason for Twistedminds to be that far up when they had already lost Hoda earlier. A mistake in rotation, snowballing into a massive gap as NIP Flash have now built up a 5k net worth lead, and with the First Lord eager to open up the base of Twistedminds.
I got to talk to Vanix the other day, you know, after getting the dub, I believe against, I forgot, the Moskov win. And he told me that the Moskov is just his comfort pick. So the fact that we are seeing him on the Moskov again, and the fact that it was kind of, you know, given to him, open to him, it's crazy, man. Vanix does incredible things on the Moskov. It's the safety of it in lane, just farming and then waiting for that one moment in the late game to go for a glorious pathway. Now, from Diablo, JPL's Conceal going to be cancelled out. Troll acting as a front line. Sano going in. Hades. Spear of Alpha over to Coffin. A bit of peel with the SOD and the Lancer Flare again. Double Spear of Misery. Hoda stunned together, and Kurt will just take all of these kills with the Sky Piercer. It's a double. NIP Flash Spear of Alpha from Hades. Now with the Winter Crown, they're looking to slowly but surely dissect Twistedminds. That's going to be JPL with Ejector coming down as well. Sano still able to kite away, but NIP Flash will continue